Welcome to a special presentation from the Epilepsy Foundation. Our show today is part of the Foundation's mission to help accelerate innovations to help people living with epilepsy. Today, we're talking about an exciting innovation for families of children living with seizures. My name is Ken Lowenberg, the Vice President of Communications at the Epilepsy Foundation. Joining me are Gail Pundsack, Executive Director of the Epilepsy Foundation of Colorado, Anna Burriesci, the mother of a young child with epilepsy. Her family uses this exciting new innovation called SAMi. SAMi, the sleep activity monitor, was created by Charles and Cynthia Anderson, who are also joining us today. Charles and Cynthia created the device to address a very personal need for a reliable system that alerts you to your child's abnormal sleep movements with a loud alarm, does not sound alarms for a child's normal tossing and turning during sleep, provides you with a quick way to see and hear what is happening. This allows you to go back to sleep if everything is okay, and makes recordings that you can share with your doctors. SAMi won our first Shark Tank Award in 2012, which enabled the Andersons to start producing the device. We have launched an Indiegogo campaign to help bring SAMi to the next level of innovation and production. The Foundation has affiliated offices around the country, serving individuals and families living with epilepsy. Charles, Cynthia, and Anna live in Colorado. The Epilepsy Foundation of Colorado is a big part of their lives. Gail, I'd like to start with you. Can you talk a bit about your services in Colorado and how a device like SAMi is valuable to the community?
Absolutely, and thank you, Ken. We are, as Ken mentioned, an affiliate of our national organization. We're one of 48 affiliates across this entire country and growing. As a matter of fact, as of today, there may even be more than 48 affiliates, I'm happy to say. And we really are the boots on the ground for our national organization. We're the eyes and the ears to identify what the needs are of people and their families who are living with epilepsy. And one of the important aspects of what we do is bring our community together, in addition to here in Colorado, 16 programs and services that we offer. Bringing our community together is really about the support and the sharing that people who deal with epilepsy every day can give to each other, and that can change lives in a matter of moments and in a matter of conversation. I met the Andersons in this very format of bringing our community together. We actually had brought together about 25 individuals over lunch to talk about what their experiences are with epilepsy. And I was particularly taken with Cynthia Anderson when she shared with us her story about James, her son, who had intractable seizures. And in describing it, she, in such a poignant way, talked about what it's like to go night after night, year after year without sleep, not only for her, but for her husband, and how this impacted the family. And really, when you think about it, that's unimaginable, to be attempting to be this caregiver for your entire family, and the worry that goes into having a son with intractable seizures and what's happening for him at night, and the risk of SUDEP, sudden unexpected death from epilepsy. So it was the Andersons' mission shortly after that meeting that SAMi became a vision, not only to help solve their own problems within their home, but they're caring that they could help solve this problem for not just hundreds, but thousands of other families across this country. So we are here to help them in any way that we can to make SAMi as accessible as possible to the families that need it. The Andersons were so gracious to donate one of the SAMi alert systems to the Epilepsy Foundation of Colorado. And in a very short period of time, we had so many names submitted to us of families who were in desperate need of this system that we actually put the names in a hat, because it felt like the only equitable way to identify that one single family who would be able to use the SAMi alert and change their lives. And we were so thankful and so fortunate to be able to provide this to Anna, and it's exciting to have her here today to talk about her experience.
That's wonderful, Gail, and it is great, Anna, to have you with us. And what a great story, Gail, and how you connected to the Andersons, and how now, Anna, you have the SAMi device in your home. Can you talk to us a little bit how it has made a difference for you?
Yes, first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Epilepsy Foundation and the Andersons for allowing us to have the SAMi monitor. My husband and I would use a baby monitor before the SAMi, and on a nightly basis, when putting Grace down to sleep, we would take turns and watch the camera, the monitor of this baby monitor, and not let it go for one moment. We were nervous and anxious, and what the SAMi has allowed us to do is to just relax and be able to play with our other children and maybe watch some TV and just have that peace of mind that the SAMi will catch Grace either moving when she's trying to get out of bed or having a seizure. And we love the features of the SAMi in which you could set the sensitivity of the alarm and the movement. We feel that it's a very effective monitor, and since we've had it for about a month or so, we feel that now shortly we will be able to transition Grace into her own bed. This way she could sleep soundly, and we will be using the SAMi monitor throughout the night. So hopefully that'll give us some more sleep. It's very difficult being a parent of a child who has epilepsy and seizures during the night, and always thinking to yourself, how can I capture those seizures? And the SAMi has allowed us to do that, and it's a wonderful device.
Thank you, Anna. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this show is the first time, really, that, Cynthia, you've had the opportunity to really meet Anna, and having heard just now how your device has helped Anna and her family, I'm wondering how that makes you feel, what you might say to Anna about that.
Well, to say that it warms our heart, I really don't have a better way to say it than that. We know what you're feeling. We understand the panic of thinking you won't be there at the right time, that you'll miss something, that your child will need you and you won't be there. And that's just such a crushing feeling for a parent, that worry. And to know that the process that we went through in order to develop this product really can help other people. When we first made it, we wondered if James was unique, if no one else would really get a benefit from this device. And we felt that it could help, but we didn't really know. And as we worked with more families, it became clear that we weren't alone, that people felt like we did, and that even though children suffer epilepsy in different ways, that a device like this can help. And so when I hear that you're using it and that you're making a transition possibly to a little more independence for you and your husband at night and a little better sleep, that is the reason that we're in this business, and that's what we have always hoped for, and we look forward to working with our customers to make the product even better.
And as you were talking, Cynthia, I saw, Anna, the big smile on your face. It's just, to me, it's amazing to see this connection, and wondering if you have anything to say back to Cynthia.
I just want to thank her from the bottom of my heart. Only a parent of a child with epilepsy can truly understand the worry that you have. And the SAMi, I feel, will help us in the future in having Grace. She's only 2.5, but as she gets older and she will want to be more independent, I'm sure she won't want to sleep with Mom in the bed every night when she becomes a teenager, but I feel that I will be using the SAMi for the rest of her life, and it is just an amazing tool to have that device, and I really, truly thank you from the bottom of my heart.
And I want to say one more thing, and looking at this, and this is really just heartwarming to me, and I want to just bring Gail back for a second, because Gail, you really helped make this connection, and I think it helps define really what the Epilepsy Foundation in a community can do. Can you comment on that?
Well, obviously, as an organization, we want to help the masses, and the reality is, because we are the boots on the ground and we are direct service, that it's one person at a time. And to hear Anna's story, this is the first time I've sat here and heard your story, Anna. I'm really touched by it, and I'm so thankful that we could help you in this very small way. The Andersons are absolutely an amazing family, and what's incredible about our community is there are many, many families like the Andersons who will do anything they can to reach out and help someone else. So it's, you know, it's needless to say this is hardly a job. It's a gift to be able to know people like this. Thanks.
And thank you, Gail. And Cynthia, we touched on it a little bit, but I'm wondering if you can tell our audience a little bit more about the origin of SAMi and what made the device come to pass.
Sure, Ken. We had a hard time getting a diagnosis for our son. There was an event where it became very clear that he did have something wrong, and he was put on anti-epileptic drugs. And we felt fairly confident that that was working. I think many people's understanding of epilepsy is that, well, you take your medication and you're fine. What we discovered when we all shared a hotel room was that he was having seizures in his sleep, and we were completely unaware that the medication wasn't working up to that point. So then the startling reality of how to keep him safe and what to do, that process began. I used a baby monitor, just as Anna had mentioned. I stalked the hallways. I peered into his room. I spent this process of constant hypervigilance. And I think that's when Charles realized if he was ever going to have a family life and if I was going to regain my sanity, that he had to come up with something better. And that's how he began the process of developing the SAMi monitor, was just because I wasn't sleeping and James's seizures were worsening, and we were very, very worried about his safety. So we had to have a solution. It's just the necessity of it drove him as an engineer to address the problem for his family. So he did, and it's certainly made transition from the early days of me having a laptop balanced on precariously next to me at night. The device is smaller and easier to use, but the concept was there, and this came out of Charles's understanding of engineering and his understanding of our need, that we couldn't keep functioning like this, and James was a teenager already. So it was very awkward, the idea that when I would go in and sleep in his room, he felt very uncomfortable about that. And we needed something that gave him a feeling more of privacy and us some feeling of safety.
Charles, let me bring you in here. Just hearing this story, I have to ask, just hearing the story from your wife, hearing the story from Anna, and you're an engineer who, out of necessity and out of love and compassion, created this device. Tell us a little bit about what went through your mind as an engineer. How did that thought process work? How did you put it all together?
Well, the first thing we did, of course, was look for existing solutions, and surprisingly, we didn't really find anything that would work. So at that point, I knew that there had to be a solution out there, and we tried a number of means for detecting seizures, and settled on video simply because nothing has to be attached to you. It's easy to set up and use. The other thing is, of course, with video, a parent looking in will instantly get feedback about what's going on, and as a parent, you know what's normal, and you can see that immediately. The other thing that I was considering was, at the time, it was a laptop-based solution, and I knew that would be difficult for others. Not everybody can dedicate a laptop purely to the need for doing seizure monitoring. So that's what prompted me to look into the iPhone and iOS technology. That's an inexpensive way to get some very powerful tools into people's hands. So we moved the code over to that and have been sending them out and letting people use them.
And so you entered the Shark Tank, the Epilepsy Therapy Project, and the Epilepsy Foundation Shark Tank Award, or Shark Tank competition, won in 2012. And what did that mean to you? How did that help move you forward?
Well, that gave us the funds that we needed to be able to actually set up a company and start producing the product. I evaluated a number of network cameras and found one that worked well for us. We sent out units to people for testing. It was crucial. Without those funds, we wouldn't have been able to get our start. And what we are doing now is we're starting another fundraising campaign through Indiegogo. And this is to help us take it to the next level. Right now, the cameras are hand assembled and set up by us. That's a expensive and not efficient process. So we're limited into how many we can produce. And the demand is increasing. It's interesting. As people start to learn about the monitor, we're starting to ship more and more. But it's important that we move to the next step where we can mass produce the cameras and get the price down and produce them in the quantities that are needed. And that's the primary use of this Indiegogo campaign. The other thing that the campaign is doing is it's also raising funds to put cameras in the hands of people that can't afford them. And that's equally as important to us.
Absolutely, and this Indiegogo campaign has been going on for a little while, and as our social media, the Epilepsy Foundation's social media community engages and finds out more about it, it's really resonating. And I just want to congratulate you, Charles, and you, Cynthia, on that, because everyone on our e-communities, every time we post messages about this campaign, they're all saying, how do we get one? Who do we contact? What do we do? And I think that that kind of resonance must really mean a lot to you guys. Can you talk about that, what you just mentioned, about the growth of the attention by the community to your device and what that means to both of you?
Sure. Well, it's very, very gratifying. The messages that we're seeing on Facebook and Twitter, we're actually pretty new to those technologies. We've been learning about it. But it's great to connect with people and see people, both people that are using it, describing their use, and people that are interested saying that they need it, and then people that are interested saying that they need it, but they also need help getting it. And we're addressing all of those things through this. So I think the campaign is raising funds, and that's very important. We're very close to our goal, but as important is it's helping us get the word out about the product and about epilepsy and nighttime seizures and the critical need for these sorts of monitors.
Thank you, Charles. And Cynthia, I just wanted to ask you, hearing how the community is resonating with the device, if you have any further thoughts about that.
I do. I guess I wanted to share that every time we work on a product here, a camera, we assemble a kit, I'm always thinking about who might get this. I'm always imagining that family, and it sounds a little corny, but I think about, I hope they'll get some sleep, I hope their child's okay. It's very personal to us, and we've both been in business for a long time in different areas, and this is the first experience I've ever had in business where we work 7 days a week, and it's not because it's work, it's because everyone who asks a question, I want to answer their question. If we can put a company together with a person who needs some help, we want to do that, and it's not the same kind of work that it's not a 9-to-5 job, absolutely. So all the contact that I actually have with people, it feeds back to that self-talk that I have for myself about hoping that things are good when I hear from somebody that it even made any difference for them, that they can see that there's progress in terms of getting a better night's sleep or just having a little bit of security, reducing that anxiety. It makes it even more important to me. It makes me want to work harder at the marketing. It makes me just convinced that this is the right thing, and this is what Charles and I should be doing. And I try not to get too sentimental about it all, but it's very personal. It's very personal for us.
Thank you, Cynthia. And Gail, this is really what it's all about in a lot of ways, why the Epilepsy Foundation exists. This is a really good example, wouldn't you say?
I would absolutely say when I think about 3 million people with epilepsy and all of the family members that are touched by epilepsy, for the Andersons to look at this one key priority issue of safety at nighttime for children, for young adults, for anyone living with epilepsy. I can't imagine not prioritizing this, putting it on the top of the radar screen and helping to make a difference. And how do we do this together? Our culture as a national organization and as affiliates truly is stronger together. We need all of our community to help elevate the need and elevate the resources so that we can get this product into the hands of people who need it. This will save lives, and in addition to that, it's going to help doctors eventually identify what the seizure activity of someone at nighttime, help to modify maybe their therapies or their medication, because we truly believe one seizure is too many. So I just say let's rally around this and make a difference.
Thank you, Gail. And Charles, I just want to toss it back to you to help us close. And you mentioned the Indiegogo campaign. Can you talk to us a little bit about how long the campaign runs and what people can do to become a part of it?
So the campaign's running for another, I believe, 10 days now. And that'll be, about the 10th of July. To find it, simply go to Indiegogo.com and search for SAMi, S-A-M-I. You can also find it at the Epilepsy Foundation website, epilepsy.com. And you can also find it at our website for SAMi, SAMialert.com, SAMialert.com. If you're interested in the camera, you can read up about it there. All the details are there, and you can order from that site as well. So we are selling cameras now. With the Indiegogo campaign, we'll be selling a newer, cheaper version, but the version that we're selling now is just fine and works well. So please check it out.
Thank you, Charles. And I want to thank Cynthia and Anna and Gail and everyone for listening to today's presentation. Again, this is about making a difference and seeking out new innovations for people living with epilepsy. And we've been fortunate to talk today to creators who will bring those innovations to life, to people who are helping us in the field, like in Colorado with Gail Pundsack, and to families that are also helping pull the community together, represented by Anna. Again, the campaign ends on July 11th, and listeners can donate to the campaign, donate to the SAMi campaign by going to Indiegogo.com and search for SAMi, as Charles said, S-A-M-I. And that is our presentation for today. So for more on the Epilepsy Foundation and our mission to help accelerate new therapies and innovations in a time frame that matters, please visit epilepsy.com. Thank you, and have a good day.